All right, everybody, welcome back. We are excited that we're freaking entering it. We got 16 teams this year, and it's already as crazy as it can be. Right now, we're going to go over week one. Before we go over it, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a heads up on how these weekly videos are going to go. I need all 15 of you guys locked in all the time. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start each episode with going over the games from the week. Now, we're not going to run through it like, Billy Baconator, he had this many points, and this blah, 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 because that's boring. We're going to break it down to 5 categories. We're going to have the biggest blowout. We're going to have the nail biter. We're going to have the upset alert. We're going to have the lowest score and the highest. That's where we're going to have that. We're going to go over the standings really quick. We're going to have an undefeated watch while it lasts. We're going to have Hotties and Coldies because it ain't the fantasy league without Hotties and Coldies. And last but not least, we're going to have the Bones Boost Challenge. Now, I know some of you have a sour taste in your mouth about the Bones Boost from last season. That was a flop, but this season it's going to be good. So those of you who don't know how it works, I'm going to send out a form each week. You don't have to play. I will say that 50% of the money we're going to put in the pot is going to go to the winner of the Bones Challenge. So we will have a tally throughout the season of how everyone's doing with these 5 questions that I'm going to send out each week. And really, I'm going to just throw them out there. I'm going to give you 4 players to choose from, 4 or 5 players to choose from in the categories of passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, tackles, and rookies with fantasy points. That probably didn't make any sense to you guys, but you'll figure it out as you go, and that's how the reviews are going to go. So let's get in to week 1 of talking about the freaking league, baby. So here we go. All right, so starting things off with the blowout award, we had Harold Suds coming in out of nowhere with 131 points, put the shellacking on former champ Raw Girl. That's the biggest blowout of the week. The nail biter of the week was Serial Chillers versus Show Me Your Gibbs. Serial Chillers, also a former champ. Only beat Show Me Your Gibbs by a little over 3 points. So that one was intense. The upset alert, we don't have one this week because everyone was ranked the same at the beginning of the season. I will say, if I had to do an upset alert, I would say that our former champ, Hottie Holly, now known as Dicker, the all-star kicker, went down pretty bad to auto draft. So that will be the upset game this week. Lowest score, let me think. That's a chunky 45 points. Yikes. And the highest score goes to Harold Suds. Great week for Harold Suds. Let's keep our eye on the lowest score as things go down the line. It's 45. The highest score is 131. I'll make sure to remind you guys of that for next week. Now, standings right now, we got Harold Suds up in first. Lamar Lago surprisingly in second. You see how the rest of this is going. Auto draft, Billy Baconator, blah, 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 blah. 16 teams. Last place right now is That's a Chunky. And Dicker, the all-star kicker, in second to last after a championship. So you can imagine that things are pretty tense in that household right now. Undefeated Watch, we have 8 teams. Obviously, they're undefeated. I'm not going to read them all out. You can see who they are, but it'll get more interesting as the season goes. Hotties and Coldies, we ain't got no Hotties and Coldies yet. Remember, to be a Hottie, you need to win 3 games in a row, and to be a Coldie, you need to lose 3 games in a row. So you don't want to be a Coldie, you do want to be a Hottie. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, let's talk about the Bones Boost Challenge this week. You'll see who all the players are when I send out the form, but like I said, there's going to be 5 questions. The first question is going to be, which of these players is going to have the most passing yards? I'm going to give you 4 players to choose from. You choose one. If you get that correct, then you will get a point. I'm going to do the same thing with rushing yards, receiving yards, tackles, and then I'm going to give you 4 rookies to choose from, and you got to pick who's going to have the highest amount of fantasy points this coming up week. So that's what we got. We're going to keep things short and sweet, really short and really sweet this year. I won't make you guys sit through 10-minute videos, but it's going to be an exciting year. Questions or concerns, you guys know where to find me. Look for a text message coming over before the games on Thursday.